Hate to break it, but Aladdin's damn Orientalist.
I said what I said.
Hey y'all, a group of USC students and I came together to create a series that challenged the stereotypical representations of the Middle East and Arabs found in Aladdin. So within this series, we'll be essentially discussing the issues found in the 1992 animated Aladdin as seen on the top and the 2019 live action and see why certain things are problematic. We'll also be analyzing whether Disney actually did better or did worse from the animated film to the live action. So what is Orientalism? No worries, brother. I got you. Orientalism is a term that was defined by cultural theorist Edward Said, as seen in the book behind me. He basically referred Orientalism as how Eastern and Middle Eastern cultures and their attributes are conceived by Western cultures. Sadly, much of the East is seen as the other and is closely associated to terms like barbarism. By making them be seen as the other, it creates this binary opposition between the West and East, where most of the connotations of the East are seen as negative. Essentially, the West has representations of the East that are not entirely accurate or don't resemble the entire population of the region. Now we're going to begin by analyzing the opening scene within the animated film where the song Arabian Nights is being played. Let's run the clip.
I come from a land, from a faraway place, where the caravan camels roam, where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home. When the winds...
So in the song it says where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home. This plays into the animalization trope, since Arabs are represented as these savages that are unrestrained and have animalistic impulses. This only just feeds into the idea that this movie is Orientalist, because they represent Arabs as these dangerous individuals when that is completely far from the truth. Clearly Arabs are not dangerous people, as seen in photos like this one, and photos like this one. Eventually, the lyrics were actually changed due to mass criticism and protests from the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee. So here are the new lyrics. It says that where it's flat and immense and the heat is intense, it's barbaric, but hey, it's home. While the lyrics are technically considered better, it's still considered Orientalist since it follows the Desert Odyssey trope now. The Desert Odyssey trope basically promotes this idea that the Middle East is this vast, large desert that is filled with adventure and fantasy. Well, I guess I gotta expose them again. That ain't no desert. Look right there. This is also the Middle East, and this is not a desert either. Dude, these cities literally look better than the US. And they got rid of the 5-minute option. I guess I gotta create a second part to this vid. Woo! In the last vid, we looked at the animated film, but in this vid, we're gonna analyze the live action a little bit more. We're going to pick it up from where I left off, where I was talking about the Desert Odyssey trope, and essentially how the song was promoting this idea that the Middle East is a vast desert that is mystical. However, as we saw in the last vid, that was completely false. However, later in the song, the lyrics continues to promote the Desert Odyssey trope. So later in the song, it says this: "Come on down, stop on by, hop a carpet and fly to another Arabian night." The lyrics are actually inviting viewers to adventure the desert themselves. Though it might be exotic and exhilarating, it doesn't really represent the Middle East properly, which further promotes why the song is Orientalist, because it doesn't give a correct representation of the Middle East. But did the live action do any better in fixing these misinterpretations of the Middle East? Let's go check it out.
Imagine a land, it's a faraway place, where the caravan camels roam, where you wander among every culture and tongue. It's chaotic, but hey, it's home. When the winds from the east and the suns from the west and the sand in the glass is right, come on down, stop on by, hop a carpet and...
As we can see in the lyrics, it says where you wander among every culture and tongue. It's chaotic, but hey, it's home. The lyrics here are actually significantly better than the original, since Arabs are no longer being represented as savages. We also see a change in word choice where the word barbaric was actually replaced with chaotic. Furthermore, there's no Desert Odyssey trope being represented here too, so this is significantly better than the actual original. However, there is bad news. If you continue on the song, the lyrics go as follows: this mystical land of magic and sand. Then it says, come on down, stop on by, hop on a carpet and fly to another Arabian night. This seems very self-explanatory, but yet again, they are promoting the Desert Odyssey trope by promoting this idea that the Middle East is this region filled with vast deserts and it is filled with fantasy. Viewers can only get two interpretations from these songs, which is that Arabs are dangerous and are savages, or that the Middle East is the land of fantasy filled with sand. Though it doesn't truly represent the Middle East, it follows Edward Said's definition and promotes this idea that the movie Aladdin is actually Orientalist. Stay tuned for the next part. Woo!
Welcome to part 2 on why Aladdin is Orientalist. In this video, we'll examine and compare the stereotypical representations of Arabs in the animated and live-action versions of Aladdin. To begin, let's start with the differences between Aladdin and other Arab male characters in this animated version. So in the animated version, it is apparent that Aladdin is in line with Western standards because his appearance resembles a handsome white man with features like an Anglo-American accent, perfect white smile, proportional body features, and, most importantly, light skin. Mind you, this is all in comparison to other Arab male characters in the same version who tend to have villainous smiles, disproportionate body features, and dark skin tones. The palace guards or greedy merchants are perfect examples of this. Hence, the opposition between Aladdin and other Arab male characters exemplifies a production code that requires the main character to be white in order to be perceived as the hero. This perpetuates the harmful belief that white characters are inherently associated with positive and redeemable qualities, while characters of color are relegated to negative or stereotypical roles. Now, on to the live-action version. Since it is more recent, there is a conscious effort to portray Aladdin and other Arab male characters in a more culturally authentic manner that does not contribute to false stereotypes. This concept is especially important nowadays because there is a closer scrutiny on storytelling in terms of people of color and their culture. Thus, all the males in the live-action version reflect a realistic illustration of Arabs in terms of appearance. An example of this are the merchants, whose facial features are not distorted to perpetuate false stereotypes. Also, it is important to note that the actor of Aladdin himself, Mena Massoud, is of Middle Eastern descent, unlike the animated version of Aladdin, whose voice actor is this guy, Scott Winger, a white American. Furthermore, Arab women in the animated version often fulfill a one-dimensional role that is shown in a sexualized manner, which contributes to the harmful concept of exoticism. Exoticism is a term that involves a fascination with the other, often portraying them as mysterious, alluring, or exotic, based on a Western narrative. An example of this is the scantily clad belly dancers, who perform seductive dance moves and wear exotic apparel that objectifies their bodies. Another example of this is when Princess Jasmine seduces Jafar, the main villain, with the provocative red outfit seen right here. Ultimately, both examples are harmful because it reduces the complex identities of Arab women to simple characters that are valued only for their sexual appearance. In comparison, the live-action version tends to avoid the sexualization of Arab women. As a result, a major difference in the live-action version is that there are no sexualized belly dancers, and Jasmine never seduces Jafar with her sexual appearance. So overall, it can be said that the animated version of Aladdin can be considered Orientalist, as it portrays false conceptions about the appearance of Arabs and perpetuates harmful stereotypes, resulting in a binary opposition between the West and the other. The term binary opposition refers to the construction of a dichotomy between different cultures or groups, which can contribute to false discourse. In contrast, the live-action version takes a step forward by challenging these stereotypes and promoting a more accurate and respectful representation of Arab identities.